Located at 115 Aldeah, the Wren House was one of the first houses constructed on Aldeah Street, a one-block road that runs north from Broadway to Ash Street, connecting Edgewood to Alexander. Aldeah Street today contains an intact collection of modest houses that were built in the 1920s and 1930s. Most of those are bungalows. The bungalow is a house type often associated with the craftsman style, which was very popular in Columbia in the early 20th century. Bungalows are generally 1 to 1.5 stories, with open front porches and an emphasis on natural building materials. The house was built in 1926 or 1927 for Horace M. and Ruth C. Wren, who lived there with their 3 children. They bought the empty lot on Aldeah in July 1926 and were living there by 1927. That purchase happened just 2 months after lots became available on the L.S. Backus subdivision, a 1926 subdivision that encompasses only lots on the west side of Aldeah Street. The area was largely vacant at the time. Aldeah was an unpaved street, and only 3 houses had been completed when they started work on the Wren House. The street filled quickly. By 1931, every lot on the west side of Aldeah contained a new bungalow. At the time of the 1920 census, Horace and Ruth Wren and their 2 children were living with Ruth's parents. Horace worked as a barber and Ruth was a dressmaker. The birth of a 3rd child in 1926 probably spurred their decision to purchase a home of their own. Horace Wren enjoyed a long career as a barber in Columbia. In 1919, he was serving as secretary of the local barbers' union, and in 1920, Wren and J.W. Basnett purchased a shop of their own, the Recreation Barber Shop. That partnership appears to have been short-lived, however. By 1927, Horace was working at Tiger Barber Shop, where he remained for decades. In the 1930s, the Wrens fell prey to the economic hardships of the Great Depression. Mortgage payments were missed, and in 1932, their home on Aldeah was sold on the courthouse steps. After the Wrens left, the house saw an array of occupants. Between 1932 and 2012, it had numerous rental tenants and changed ownership more than a dozen times. It is now once again owner-occupied by residents who value its historic significance. Under their stewardship, systems have been upgraded, historic features have been restored, and the house has been listed in the American Bungalow Registry.